What if I told you that the ingredient sitting in basically every kitchen, 11 plannés, consideredly poisoned for 200 years, that kings and queens refused to touch it, that scientists literally put it in textbooks under dangerous, and that the only reason we eat it today is because some starving, broke people in Naples just said forget it and tried it anyway. This is the story of the tomato. And trust me, it's way more insane than you think. Let's go back, way back. It's America. This tiny, weird little red berry is just growing wild on the hillside. Nobody planted it. Nobody asked for it. It just kind of showed up. The Aztecs found it, tasted it, and went, yeah, this is actually incredible. They called it tomatal, mixed it with chili and spices, and built a whole cuisine around it, completely unbothered. Zero drama. Then the 1500s happened. Spanish conquistadors rolled into the Americas, took over the gold, the silver, the land, and on the way out, almost as an afterthought, grabbed some tomato seeds, brought them back to Europe like a little souvenir. And Europe's reaction? Absolute chaos. Scientists noticed the tomato plant looked suspiciously similar to deadly nightshade, a plant that, yes, actually kills you. So they did what any reasonable person would do and immediately assumed the tomato was also out to murder everyone. One botanist dramatically wrote it down as the evil fruit. It got slapped into textbooks under dangerous and suspicious. And that was that. But here's where it gets even better. Some rich, curious, stubborn aristocrats decided they wanted to try it anyway. So they ate tomatoes off their fancy pewter plates. Pewter, which was loaded with lead. The acid in the tomato literally pulled the lead out of the plate and straight into their food. People got sick. Some actually died. And instead of looking at the plate and thinking maybe it's the lead, they looked at the tomato and went, I knew it, evil fruit. So for nearly 200 years, tomatoes just sat in European gardens as decoration. People grew them, admired the color, and walked away, a completely edible fruit, completely ignored. Until the poor people of Naples got hungry enough to stop caring. They had no fancy plates, no lead, just hunger and a red fruit everyone said was poison. So they tried it. And they were absolutely fine. Mortin finicious. They started cooking it down slowly with garlic and olive oil into this thick, rich sauce. The smell coming out of those tiny kitchens was enough to convert the whole neighborhood. And then someone, nobody knows exactly who, poured that sauce over pasta. And Italian food was never, ever the same again. But Naples still wasn't done. Someone took that same sauce, spread it on flatbread, added cheese, and started selling it on the street for almost nothing. It was messy, cheap, and absolutely incredible. The upper class called it disgusting. A food for peasants. They refused to even look at it. Until a queen tried it. And suddenly, the most mocked food in Europe became the most beloved food on the planet. All of this, the pasta, the pizza, the sauces. The entire Italian cuisine the whole world is obsessed with today. Started with a tiny, wild berry that everyone thought was trying to kill them. And the people who figured it out weren't scientists, weren't kings, weren't chefs in fancy restaurants. They were just hungry people with nothing to lose. So next time someone tells you something is impossible, remember the tomato. Sometimes the most revolutionary things in history start with someone who was just too hungry to listen. If this blew your mind, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more than you think. And if there's a food, an ingredient, or a history story you want me to dig into next, drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and your suggestions literally become the next video. See you in the next one.